All right, today we're talking about something that will really make or break culture, retention, and team performance, and that is employee counseling. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Counseling? Isn't that like only when something goes wrong? Absolutely not. If you wait until there's a problem, you're already behind. So today we're going to be diving into how to do it right, starting with specifically onboarding and continuing through structured quarterly performance counseling. So this is specifically training for leaders just like you who want to drive clarity, consistency, accountability, and ultimately growth. So let's start with the why. Employee counseling isn't just a reaction to poor performance. It's a proactive leadership tool to drive alignment and transparency. Now, here's what happens when you get it right. Employees are confident because they know what's expected of them. Leaders don't have to micromanage because clarity removes confusion. Teams function more smoothly because communication flows. And that HR risk is reduced because it's all documented. Bottom line, people perform better when they understand the standards and feel supported. And that starts on day one. When you onboard someone, you have to schedule that 15 to 30-minute counseling session within the first 72 hours of their employment. This is super vital because don't assume that they know anything about how you operate. And this is your chance to create clarity and alignment. And here's what you'll cover. Number one, scheduling and punctuality, right? What time do they have to show up? What does specifically being on time mean in your culture? How are breaks handled? What happens if they're late back from a break? What's the meeting cadence? Do you have team meetings? Do they happen weekly, monthly, daily? And what's expected of them during those meetings? What about cultural norms? Do you value speed, precision, collaboration? Do you expect open communication, ownership of mistakes? What about performance metrics? How will those be measured? What KPIs matter most in their role? And how do they know if they're doing a good job? What about attendance? How do they call out sick? Who do they notify? How do they notify someone? Is there a required notice for PTO? What's the leave policy? How much time off is allowed? And hey, is it accrued? Is it front-loaded? Is it request-based? What about the reporting structure and support system, right? Who do they go to for day-to-day questions? What happens if there's a conflict? Do you have any milestones or expectations about performance that you need to go over? Specifically, hey, what should they achieve within 30, 60, or 90 days? And you have to document everything. You have to use, a 2-page standardized onboarding counseling document, get their signature after you go over some of these items and more. This isn't just about micromanagement. This is about mutual alignment, accountability, and setting them up for success, and of course, yourself. Now, what I've shared with you is just a couple examples of what I include on my employee counseling forms. The good news is, while it may take some time to figure out what you value most with performance, communication, meetings, expectations, etc., once you have developed something, right, it's easy to replicate and move forward. So I give you many examples of what I include on mine, and now's your chance to figure out what's most important to you so that you can set up your employees for success. Now let's talk about what happens when you skip this step. Don't do that, because new hires are going to show up late. You're going to be frustrated, but they didn't know what on time meant. They might miss a team meeting, but you never told them what might happen. Or maybe they're not hitting targets, but no one really showed them what the targets were. Frustrating, right? This is going to cause frustration, and it's going to be your fault if this happens. It's going to create disengagement, higher turnover, and when it gets to legal or HR, guess what they're going to ask next? Did you document it? Did you document expectations? If the answer is no, you have no ground to stand on. Counseling protects both your people and yourself and the organization. So now let's shift to ongoing performance counseling, because this is important as well, because every employee at every level should receive a formal performance check-in every 90 days or at max 180 days. Now, this is not just a formality. This is where retention, morale, and performance are reinforced. These sessions should last, roughly 30 minutes, and they should include things like, are they meeting their KPIs? Where are they excelling? Where are they falling short? Let's check their attendance. Have they been dependable? Are there any recurring issues with punctuality? Are they in the right dress code? How's their attitude and engagement? Are they a team player? Have they been aligned with culture, the mission, the vision, the values? Wins and recognition, right? What are their big accomplishments this quarter? Celebrate them. Development and coaching. What skills or behaviors should they improve on? And what resources can you provide to help them grow? And goal setting. How can we help them together set clear, measurable goals for the next 90 days of what they want to accomplish, personally, professionally, financially, and again, document everything. You need to create a simple performance counseling form and have both parties sign it because, this becomes a tool for development and accountability. As we said earlier, great leadership is proactive. It's not about reacting to problems. It's about preventing them through clear, consistent communication. So we use this onboarding counseling, right, to create clarity from day one. Then we use the quarterly performance counseling, same form by the way, just a little different, to ensure growth, alignment, and engagement. And we always document. Now, if you want a free template for how we do these counselings, I'm going to include it somewhere in this module where you can download it. And if you're building a leadership culture rooted in communication and accountability, this is how it starts. So lead well, lead clearly, lead consistency, and document these expectations. It'll save you a lot of frustration. Good luck.